Oftentimes, if you are following Jesus and you want to live righteously and be set apart like he commands you to be, you face situations, whether it's in the workplace or at school, wherever it may be, where you have to interact with other people. In those situations, most of the time, people end up talking about worldly things, sometimes vulgar things, but 9 times out of 10, it's something sinful. It's something that you, as a follower of Jesus, don't partake in. But, it's also a challenge to be able to coexist, say in a workplace, and not partake in their conversations and not approve of their conversations when they're vulgar and sinful. But one thing that Jesus has shown me recently, as I'm dealing with this myself, he really just opened my eyes to James, the book of James, and also reminded me of a scripture in Matthew where Jesus says in Matthew 12:36, I tell you, on the day of judgment, people will give account for every careless word they speak. For by your words you will be justified, and by your words you will be condemned. So he reminded me of that scripture. Also, in James 3, it talks about taming the tongue. And I found it pretty interesting because they go right along with each other. And it's describing how on a ship that sails across the sea, a huge ship is completely controlled by just a small rudder. It says, look at the ships also. Though they are so large and driven by strong winds, they are guided by a small rudder, wherever the will of the pilot directs. So also the tongue is a small member, yet it boasts of great things. How great a forest is set ablaze by such a small fire! And the tongue is a fire, a world of unrighteousness. The tongue is set among members, staining the whole body, setting on fire the entire course of life, and set on fire by hell. And it goes on to say, every beast, every bird, every animal or creature of the earth can and has been tamed by man, but the tongue is untamable. It's very important to watch what you say. And it is also written that what comes out of the heart, what comes out of your mouth, is what defiles you. It says, out of the heart the mouth speaks. So it's important, if you're following Jesus and you want to be right with Jesus, that you listen to him and his convictions when he leads you not to partake in worldly conversations, and it should be obvious not to partake in the vulgar things that are said. This can be difficult for people who want to do the right thing, because you may be seen as rude, or you may be seen as socially awkward when you don't respond to something like a vulgar joke that's said to you. But it's better to be weird than to disappoint Jesus. And if you're persecuted for that, Jesus said that that would happen, and that's a blessing. So this message is really just to remind you to watch your tongue and to stay separate from the world. It's an encouragement, because it can be a struggle whenever you have to be in the world, and not of the world. So just keep going after Jesus. If you're seeking after him, just keep praying, keep turning from sin, keep rebuking the devil, and just endure with him until the end. May Jesus bless you.